Hey guys, and welcome to How to Fix Your Audio, more specifically audio in your DAW. And my goal in this video is to help you guys correctly level the volume of your audio, also known as gain staging. Now, this can be a little bit difficult for new producers, even for producers that have been producing for a little bit already. I'm making these type of videos because I want you guys to make your song sound professional without having to go into school like I did. When I went to school, I spent around $15,000 to $20,000, which is a lot of money, and I don't want you guys to have to go through that like I did. There's a lot of good resources online, and this could be one of them. To be honest, I tried to learn how to produce online. I went on YouTube, other things, and it was hard for me. I couldn't understand. Like, I felt like I needed someone to be there to help me, so that's why I'm making these videos, because I want to help you guys out like I tried to help myself out. Now, I wish I didn't spend that much money, but you know, it is what it is. Anyways, my name is Alexin. I'm a graduate of Icon Collective. I've also taken courses at Point Blank Online on mixing, mastering, and composition. I have a degree in audio production from Norco College, and I'm Pro Tools certified. So let's get into it, guys. Alright guys, let's listen to this track and see how it sounds. Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it sounds pretty distorted, which you guys can't tell. And we see on this master track, it has this master bus, which is all these plugins to make it sound louder. Now, if you guys don't know what you're doing with this, I would suggest you guys turn it off because it changes the sound. And if it's distorting, clipping, it's adding this nasty sound to your track, and it doesn't sound professional. It sounds really bad. So we're going to turn it off. We're going to turn this master bus off, these plugins, and we're going to see this master channel right here. And we see it's distorting, clipping, like I was saying. It has this red, and we have this meter right here which is showing us that it's at 2 right here. So 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. I know it doesn't say -6, but this means -6. And if we hit it, you see it's at 1.972. That means it's distorting over this 0, which we don't want. So we have to turn this plugin off, which is adding more volume. Now we're good right here. This master track is gain stage. Now, what is gain? Gain, there's a really complicated definition for gain, which I don't want to get into. I want to make it easy for you guys. So let's just say it's volume. So gain staging means to level the volume of your tracks, which we just did right here. It's not clipping or anything. We leveled it perfectly. You see right here, we're good. So now we're going to go to each individual track, and we're going to play it. We're going to go into these drums first. Let's solo it. Now, if you notice, we have 2 meters here. One says -2.59, one says -5.2. Let's start with this one first. This -5.2 is this fader. So watch when I move it. You see how it starts moving. I'm going to put it back. This is at -5.2. But the volume that's coming into this track is at -2.59. If I play, see how it's all the way up, which is not good. That means it's distorting. So let's say I just put this to 0, right? It's at 0. Watch when I play it. You see how it's red over here? It's distorting just like this master track was, which we don't want. It's adding these artifacts, they call it artifacts. It's just adding this like muddiness, not even muddiness, even worse, this distorting, this clipping, this sound to it that it's not going to make your track sound professional, which we don't want, right? So I'm just going to put it back at -5.2. What we want is, we want this volume that's coming into this track right here to be lower or right at unity. Unity meaning that this is -5 and they're the same at unity, or a little bit lower. So what do we do first? We see we have a plugin on the drums, right? Let's take it off. And you notice it's right underneath. negative 6.14, which is this is at negative 5.2, which is good. It means it's gain stage. It's right below. We're gonna get the best quality sound out of this track. But when we put this EQ on this plugin, when we put the plugin on, it might add some volume to it, which is creating that distorting signal because it's adding more volume. So when we turn it on, you see it's back at negative 5. It's higher. It's because this is called the output volume. What's coming out of the EQ, the output volume that's coming out. You see that? So the gain right here, just to make it easy, volume, we're gonna lower this volume just so we have it, just like we had that master track, we have it underneath it, which is good. Now we have it at negative 10, and it's even lower. It's not at unity, right? What this is called when there's this space in between that's called headroom. Headroom means the space in between this volume right here and this fader volume, which is good because if we start adding other, like say we had another plugin to it. I'm gonna try and do this fast. Let's say we add this compressor, right? It's still the same, but when we start putting, like, just affecting this compressor, maybe a little lower, you see how it's now we're clipping again. We're going over. So if I put this at 0, we're clipping again. We want it lower to have some headroom, or unity, pretty close, right? So we use this volume, we just put it down, close. Now it's at negative 7 over here, which is still over, sorry. Let me put it lower. Negative 9, which is right here, and the 8's over here, which is perfect. We have some headroom, so if we want to add more, which I'm not going to do, I was just giving you guys a quick example. So this is gain stage. We're good with this one. Now we're going to check this stab and look at where it's at. This volume that's coming in, which is the input, they say. The input that's coming into this right here is all the way up. The fader is right here. We don't want that. Remember, we want it lower. Like, again, if we put it at 0. Whew, I don't know if you guys heard that crunch. That's that distorting signal. So what do we do first? Let's take off the plugins. And if we notice, it's still clipping. Why is it clipping? It's because this is a MIDI track, right? And something's adding volume. What's adding the volume? Well, we have Serum right here. Let's hit it and we'll see right now. And just like we did that compressor, the output volume, what's coming out of Serum, the output volume, what's coming out of Serum is distorting. You see it's red right here. So we're going to put it lower, even lower, which look, or maybe a little lower, which is good. Now we're going to check it over here. It's at negative 8. Maybe a little lower. There we go, 20. Now we have it over here at 20 and the fader's at 19. So even if I put this at 0, watch when I put it at 0, it shouldn't be clipping. See that? It's not going over. It's not red. If I were to put this higher, watch. You see how it's clipping? We don't want that. It's going to add artifacts. And if you even saw right here at the master, it's clipping. So that's good now. But you know what? We want some more headroom, so when we start adding the other plugins, we have some volume to work with. So maybe that's a little bit too much headroom right there. Jesus. There you go. That's good right there. It's at negative 22, which the fader is at 19, which is good. We have some headroom now. Let's start adding these plugins. And it's even lower, which is good, but maybe a little bit higher. We're going to put the output volume of this EQ higher because where we had it, it was putting the volume a little bit lower. So let's add the compressor. Let's see if it changes the volume. And wow, you see how it went all the way up there now? Remember, the fader's at negative 19. If I move that, you see the value of the fader moving is at negative 19, but this is at negative 13. The input volume, what's coming in here, into this volume is coming into this track is high, which is not good. This compressor, right? So we're going to change this output, what's coming out of this compressor, what's coming out that's creating this rise in volume. We're going to put it lower, just like we did with Serum. That's too low. Too high. Good. Negative 20, which is close. Negative 20 is over here. And then negative 19.3 is where this fader is at, which is good. We have some headroom. It's close to unity. So that one's good now. So let's go to the bass. And the same thing right here. The fader's at negative 11, but it's clipping at negative 7. Again, if I have this at 0. See that? So I'll stop doing that. I think you guys understand that now. Let's turn the plugins off. Why is it still clipping? Why is that still going over, right? It's because this is an audio track. That means the clip, that bass clip that we put in, the audio that we put into this track is clipping. This, we got it somewhere from over here and put it over here, and it's clipping, which is not good. So we're gonna go into the clip, and we're gonna put it lower, maybe negative 3. And we're gonna do it to the same one over here. It's just the same thing. And we're gonna check it now. We're gonna check it over here. Now it's at negative 12, which this fader's at 11. Negative 12 is lower, right? Negative 11 is here, negative 12 is over, which is good. Which maybe I should have put a little bit more headroom, but it's okay. Let's put the EQ8 on and see how it changes it. Which is at negative 13, it actually lowered it. Which is good, it's creating more headroom for when I add this compressor. What are we at now? Negative 16, perfect. It's gain stage, it's not adding any more artifacts. I mean, the effects are adding some changes to the sound, but it's not adding that distorting clipping, which we don't want. That's the whole point of this video. So let's go to the stab now. Hold on, let's do this. Stab. So, same thing. You guys notice that? Now, there's nothing on here. There's no plugins. There's no anything. So what do we have to do, guys? We have to go into the stab and lower it. Let's just put negative 4. We have to do the same thing to the other one. Negative 4. Let's see if it creates that headroom. Good. But maybe that's maybe a little bit lower. I mean, like I said, if we added some plugins, right, it would be good. So let's just add, I don't know, let's just add EQ. And we're going to put maybe some of that low frequencies down, maybe some of the higher frequencies higher. And that created some rise in volume. If we put it lower, if we turn it off, it went lower, right? If we put this, it added some more headroom, but we want it to be a little bit more to unity, right? Unity means this volume and this other volume are close to each other. So it'll be easier to mix all the tracks too. You'll see that later. Good. Next, the bass 2. I have to make sure that these are both the same. They are, because if not, even though it's the same track, it's going to be higher, right? So let's go to bass 2. The volume will be higher, I mean. Let's go to bass 2. And let's check it. Again, same thing. What do we do first? Turn off the plugin. Check it. Same thing. It's up there. Put it lower. Maybe negative 4. Good. Now it's at negative 18.1, which is over here. The input volume is at negative 18.1. The volume that's coming in, input. But this master fader is right over here at negative 15, which is good. We have some headroom. Remember, that space in between. We're gonna add the EQ now. And it added some volume, but it's pretty close. It's close to unity right there. Input volume and this fader meter right here are pretty, which is good. Next, bass 3. Let's check bass. Same thing. Take the plugin off. Go into the clip. Of course, it's all the way up. Put it down. So when it comes in, we put the volume of the clip down. So when the volume comes in, we're gonna have some headroom. So when we add those EQs and stuff like that, we have some volume to play with. And that's still a little low, so we can put it a little higher, because we'll get a better sounding quality. The volume, the track would sound better, and also it's gonna be easier to mix. You'll see what I mean once again. Bass 4. We have these plugins. Bass 4 is right here. Plugins. Okay, turn the plugins off. Same thing. You guys are getting the idea, right? Gonna put it down. -3. Good. See right there? Perfect. It's lower. Go back. Let's put this one on. See if it's gonna, if the output volume, it's gonna add more volume to our track, which it did. You can even see right here. It shows red. Let's put this lower. Good. See that -21, which is just at -19. Compressor now. Jesus. Sorry, God. Anyways, you see that hub? That output volume's adding that volume. Let's put it lower, guys. Maybe too low. Good. Gain stage. Last one, we got the bass 6. It's just going over just by a little bit. See that? Just a tiny bit. It's like all the way up here. So if I were to put this at 0, which I said it wouldn't do, but it shows you guys like really well what I mean. See that? You see how it's distorting? It's still distorting here. It's just not showing it. It's still distorting here, but it's not showing you here when you raise it up. And it's still adding artifacts. And sorry, I'm saying artifacts, but a lot of, producers say that. So still adding that grinding sound. I mean, maybe in this genre it sounds good. But anyways, so let's go to bass 6. We're gonna put it down by 3. Good. Pretty close. All right, so these are all gain stage now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to level them with each other so it sounds better, because if we play it, it's not gonna sound so good because we just leveled the individual tracks, but now they're gonna be off. Yeah, doesn't sound that good. So let's do the step first. Next we'll do this one. Now I'm just comparing these to each other, these stab, bass, stab, to each other, and you'll see what I do next. So this one's next. I'm actually gonna put this one here because that one's next. Good, so all those are pretty much good with each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them all together. Call this bass sub. Damn it. Bass sub. And then you see how it's kind of harder to like level this bass sub with the drums? Because we have all this headroom here. So how do we add more volume? Which we've already learned, right? So I mean, we could use anything like an EQ8 like we did, or a compressor, how you just use the output volume. But for Ableton, there's just something called utility that you can use. And then we put it on here. And gain, look at that. That's the output volume. See how low it is here? Now we're just gonna raise it so we can raise that headroom so it's more at unity. Good. Now, see how easier it is? See how easier it is to match it with each other? Good. Now we can go into the master. You see it's right here. Now we know about metering and everything. We have this headroom, which is perfect for mastering at -6. If you guys send that to a mastering engineer, it's perfect because now he has that volume. He can use all these plugins to add more volume and make the track sound even better. So let's say I just add this mastering sub, this mastering chain. You notice right here, all that volume went up. Now it's sounding clean and all that. But again, guys, if you guys don't know how to use a mastering chain or anything like that, I suggest not to use it right now because like I said, it changes the track, the volume of the track. Like say this is way too loud right here. Watch how it's gonna sound. If you guys don't even know what's happening, it's gonna just mess up your track. So what I suggest is just adding some volume at the end. If you wanted to hear it louder, add a utility or something just to add volume. So you guys can kind of hear how it's gonna sound a little bit louder, you know? But if you guys know how to use a mastering chain, then, you know, use it. Alright, thanks guys for watching. I hope it helped you guys out. Please like, subscribe, share so I can make some more videos for you guys so you guys don't have to spend so much money like I did. Alright, see you later guys.